Okay, so now let's look at different types of matter. And we're going to use this chart to keep track of the different types and the different categories that there are. So under matter, matter we know is made up of particles. So all the matter around you is made up of tiny particles. Now, these particles come together in many different ways to form substances. And there are two main types of substances. We have pure substances, and we have mixtures. Pure substances come in two different varieties. The first type is the element. Elements are things that you may have found on the periodic table. Every substance listed on the periodic table is an element. But what actually is an element? Well, an element is a substance that consists of only one type of atom. So an element is a substance that only consists of one type of atom. If you looked at every single particle in that substance, they would all be pretty much identical. The other type of pure substance is the compound. Now, a compound is going to consist of multiple types of atoms altogether. So a compound is a substance whose particles contain multiple types of atoms. Each of these particles is identical to all of the other ones. So each particle is identical, but each particle contains several different types of atoms, or several different elements. So now let's look at the mixture side. So what is a mixture? Well, a mixture is two or more pure substances that are put together but have not chemically combined to form a new substance. An example of a mixture might be a salad. So if you could mix the tomatoes and the lettuce together, and even though they're in contact with each other, they haven't formed any new substance. Another example would be salt water. You put salt in the water, it may have different properties. The water no longer tastes like water, but the salt is still salt, the water is still water. They haven't formed a new compound, they are just put together. There are two types of mixtures. The first type we're going to look at is the heterogeneous mixture. What does heterogeneous mean? Well, the prefix here, hetero, means different. So a heterogeneous mixture is a mixture that looks different depending on where you look. The big example that's commonly used for this is a salad or sand. If you look at a salad, you can see the different vegetables or fruits apart. If you look at sand, you can tell different types of grains of sand apart. They're all together in one thing, either called a salad or sand, but you can tell individual components apart from each other. The other type of mixture is the homogeneous or homogeneous mixture. So, just like hetero, that prefix means different, the prefix here, homo, also has a meaning. Homo means the same. So a homogeneous mixture, as you can probably guess from what heterogeneous meant, is a mixture that looks the same no matter where you look. So an example of this would be salt water. If you have a glass of salt water, that salt water looks the same no matter where you look at it. Another example of a homogeneous mixture would be milk. So milk contains all sorts of things, water, sugars, proteins, but no matter where you look, it all looks the same. Now if you notice, I do have two more categories listed under homogeneous. Now what are these categories? So the first one of these categories is a solution. In a solution, all the particles are in the same phase. So if I have salt dissolved in water, the entire thing is a liquid. But I could also have a suspension. In a suspension, all of the particles are in different phases. For example, mud is a suspension. There are solid dirt particles floating in the liquid water. You can use this chart to classify any type of matter that you come across. So go ahead, pick something in your room or wherever you are and try to figure out what it falls under here.